I just want it to be like the Crusader Corps. Like my father. I thought with my new powers I could be. But I failed. I let everyone down. I got people hurt. I just wanted to make the world a better place. And instead I made things worse.
But now I have the chance to make things right with the help of one of the Crusader Corps. The Phoenix section. And I will. I have to. Whatever it takes. I will find that spark again.
Oh, wait.
Where it says, "What's the future?" Vaughn Coleman.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. What's going on? Nailed it. Totally professional introduction. How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Of course, we are here with Michael Oden, who is the real star of the show, as we talk about his new book, Elysian Fields Reborn. So,
Yes.
yeah, I've been copying and pasting so many links. Let me do my job and pull up the campaign I'm supposed to be closing out. But tell everyone about it.
Well, first things that should be noted is that we're closing in like 2 hours. So please make sure that you're checking it out. We'll get the link up and everything like that. We're getting close to hitting 5,500, which unlocks an amazing mini print. And then at 6K, we'll be upgrading another cover. So if we can cross that tonight, that'd be great. I believe in us. But what is Elysian Fields? Elysian Fields Reborn is at its base level Mortal Kombat with heroes of mythology. Right? So we start off our story and we see Achilles' final battle at Troy. We see him die, and then he goes down to the underworld. He reunites with his loved ones for about 30 seconds, and then he's ripped out of his piece and brought to this arena to fight alongside the likes of Heracles, of legend, and then Queen Hippolyta of the Amazons, and they're fighting against heroes from completely different mythological pantheons. So they're doing all of this to help Hades regain his dominion over the underworld. And that's what Elysian Fields is.
That's awesome. I really like that concept. They used to be really into Greek mythology because I was really into the Percy Jackson books. Those got me into
man.
it.
I have a love-hate relationship with Rick Riordan. I love what he did to bring mythology to the next generation. I think it's great. Having read some of that stuff and being a bit of a mythology buff, there have definitely been a few times where I've kind of scratched my head like, why did you do it that way? But yeah, comics, Dad. We hung out last night.
Yeah, I'm going to get on this show at some point. This is my 13-hour Bionicle lore video. I'm sorry. What can I say? Dude, those Bionicle movies, I used to like them when I was a young child. I don't know how good they are.
The Mask of Light holds up.
Which one was? Because I saw. God, I cannot remember which ones I saw. I know I think I saw one in
Flight was the
3.
first movie that they did, and that was the one where they've got like the legendary golden mask.
That sounds familiar.
Bionicle. That one holds up pretty all right.
Yeah, they are the pinnacle of storytelling. See, yeah, I mean, look, I like the Bionicle. Let's see, I'm trying to think of what I remember. I definitely saw there were 2 of them I used to get.
Mythology too. It's really interesting stuff.
Yeah, I'll have to revisit. I would love to just because I want to start doing a regular stream, but I've just been so all over the place in my life. But I would love to just have like a weekly topic. And listen, if people wanted me to do Bionicles, fuck it. If there was a demand for me to go through the Bionicles movies with like a panel, that'd be great. Great films. Well, I don't know if they're great films, but I liked them as a child.
I would say that they are exactly what they are intended to be. Are they Citizen Kane? Absolutely not. But not every movie needs to be that. They are perfectly adequate popcorn films, and there is some surprisingly decent writing for the direct to DVD releases that they are.
That's good. That's good to know. We got, all right. This looks really great. And of course, V, I know will be joining us in some time, but we've got the Vic and Marion cover right here.
Oh man, he did such a good job about this. I'm really excited to actually get a chance to talk to V on a stream. So like most of our interaction has been through messaging, either via email or X. So this is actually gonna be like the first time that we're like legitimately hanging out on a stream, which I'm super pumped about. Like
that'll be cool,
dude. Like he just absolutely destroyed this cover.
Yeah,
like I like it. Like I was blown away.
And by the way, if you guys like this, because I know I like this. I remember you were going to V will be doing a Phenomenova issue 3 cover for Kickstarter. So
hell yeah.
So even if you end up backing me on Fund My Comic when I first launched, I'd very much appreciate that. But one advantage of the Kickstarter, and I'll waive the shipping fee. Like if you back on both and you're like, hey, just message me. I'll send you the shipping money back. Is how I'm going to do it, unless there's an easier way. Point is, if you pay for Fund My Comic, you won't have to pay shipping on the Kickstarter.
So there is a way you can do that, Vaughn. Kickstarter actually has secret tiers now.
Oh, nice.
So what you can do is you can just create a secret tier and send it to all of your Fund My Comic backers, and just completely remove the shipping.
All right. So yeah, you heard it here, pros. Get that cover. I reached out to a Dollhouse, so we'll see. Apparently, he colors a lot. V, how's it going, man?
He does.
Hey,
Where
what's up, guys?
How's it going?
How's it going? How's it going?
What's
Good.
up, man?
Mike, it's great to meet you.
Yeah, I know. I was literally just talking to Vaughn about this. Like, this is the first time I'm actually going to get a chance to hang out with V, because like most of our back and forth has been through Messenger and what have you. So it's like it's really nice to actually have a conversation. I also have something here that I think that you'll like. I got this pretty thing here.
What's
Oh,
this?
sick.
So every
sick,
single
dude.
person that backs V's cover, it got upgraded to silver holofoil at 5K.
Oh, nice.
That's sick. That looks really great.
All right.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, V. When the printer was like, I think the silver holofoil will look really good on V Ken's and Andrew's cover, I was just like, I don't really like the silver holofoil much, but I'm trusting your intuition, and he was right. It
Nice.
Looks fantastic.
That's awesome. That looks great.
Yeah.
I really like it.
Also, great marketing tool. The book is done. It's
Nice.
Nice.
That's
And
great.
I believe it's still available to back, right? Is the original art
Oh
tier.
man.
So this is it right here.
Nice.
Oh
Yeah.
That's awesome. Oh my God, get on that.
11x17, pencil and ink by me. Yeah. All traditional, no digital.
it looks
Yeah.
so freaking pretty.
That looks so good.
It
Thank
looks good, dude.
That looks
Thank
awesome.
you. Thank you.
Do you do all of your stuff physically, or do you do a bit of each?
I do everything almost physically, yeah. Almost everything, yeah. I mean, I scan it obviously, and then I'll like clean it up, like get the erasing marks out and stuff. But the coloring obviously is all done digitally. But what I do is all physical as of right now. Who knows? That may change in the coming years. I don't know. We'll see. But,
Dude,
Yeah.
DC's keeping you busy, man.
Yeah, I was.
yeah.
Although
Put on
I'm
more promotions.
I was looking for a cover. I was like, I was like looking for a cover from you, but it looks like they not get you to do one of the, or did my shop just not have it?
Probably your shop doesn't have it.
No, 4 I don't have a cover, but 5 I have a cover.
Damn.
So next issue.
Yeah, no, I already saw your one for 5. That looks awesome. But no, I like
thank you.
so Narf is a cat, right? Because my friend,
Yeah.
because I was like, it's a cat. My friend was like, well, no, then we both saw it, but we were trying to figure out like what kind of cat.
Well, I mean, he's an alien. He's a
Right.
cat-like alien. So he's 4'6", I think, or 4'5". I can't remember the stat I gave him, but he's like 4'5", 4'6", and he's like he stands on his hind legs, but he's like feline-esque. But he talks. He's like an alien cat. He's based off one of my cats, so visually.
That's what I was wondering about. That's awesome.
Outstanding.
I love that. I'm gonna have to back it. I hadn't gotten to it yet. Let's see. I'm not all right. I have my stuff in another tab so I don't dox myself on air.
Everyone out there, if you haven't backed Elysian Fields yet, definitely back it. This book looks fantastic, like absolutely fantastic.
I'm very excited. We have a very, very fun future planned, and I know V-Ken's itching to do at least one other cover of mine because I sent him a character that's coming up in the future, and he goes, "If you need a variant for that, I'd love it." And I was like, "Don't worry, V. This is why I showed you."
Yeah, that's awesome. I have also because I know you've read issues 1 and 2. V, I'm gonna if any of the designs that have how many first appearances in issue 3. Issue 3 is like my biggest. I think there's like 8 first appearances, so I'll send you like all the designs.
Nice.
Yeah,
I mean, for years I want to do like the main character.
Okay, that's fine.
That's I mean, unless you don't want that, but like
no, that's fine if you want to. Okay, that's because he's not in issue 3 that prominently, but screw it.
Oh, okay.
No, but he's in it, so we could do something. Okay. We could find a way to make it work.
Cool. Okay, cool.
Yeah, Galvanite is. So I like him so far, and but man, I don't know. I go back and forth on who I like issue to issue, who I like most. I like the new girl Estrella. I like because she makes my job easier as a writer because she can just scan memories and then give information that way, which is so much easier. Like I'm so glad I introduced her. She was one of the later characters that came up with.
Walking plot device.
She really is, and if she makes my job, and she's good looking. But that's another thing. If you want to deliver exposition, just have a good looking chick deliver the exposition, and people will be okay with it. Cheat code in comics. One thing I learned. But let's see. This looks great. Achilles.
Yes,
Achilles looks badass in this book. Like who's the artist who did all the designs for the characters?
So we the entire art team was involved with the design, with the character turnarounds and everything. So Will did such a great render of Achilles, like with his pencil work, right? And it was really fun to get to put together. I am no professional, but I dabble in art. So it was a whole thing of, I kind of told Will, I was like, okay, these are the kinds of things I'm looking for. And I put together a whole bunch of references, and we really wanted to lean into the fantastical side, with this being this epic, battle book, and Will just absolutely crushed it. It was absurd. And then Ruvian and Tiago brought their A game on the inks and colors.
Sounds familiar.
This book looks incredibly good, from a visual standpoint. The pages are hyper dynamic, really, really extremely professional, extremely well done. From the pencil making, the coloring, all of it. It's really, really well done. You should be very proud of this book. So everyone out there watching, Go back it. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
I gotta grab. Oh no, I think I have my card. Never mind. Sorry, I was about to.
I really appreciate that, V. And you want to know what's the craziest thing is that these are the worst pages in the book. The ones that you're seeing on this campaign, these are the warm-up pages. This is the team kind of getting their foot in the door and getting comfortable. And that's not to say they're bad pages at all. They're absolutely fantastic. But like Will gets into his groove after doing like 10, 12 pages on a project. And then Ruvian kind of figured out a new coloring technique when we were about a quarter of the way through the book. And let me tell you, there's some impressive stuff that we have happening.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, I that's how I feel with like we're just improving at a great, like a really solid pace. Wait, what is it? 5,500 is the next goal, right?
Yeah.
And is this going to be an ongoing series, or is this just one and done?
So I have it mapped out for 30 issues.
Nice.
So I went through because I was looking at potentially I'm not sure how I would want to do this, but I wanted to be prepared in case we had people that wanted to come in and invest, or if we had a publisher that came in and wanted to pick up distribution for collector, like a trade collections and what have you. So I went together and I put together a pitch sheet. And one of the things that any company wants to know is that you have a plan for the overall series. So I went through and I broke it down. And so it'll be 6 arcs of 5 issues, 30 issues in total. I have the first 5 pretty much written. I'm in the middle of issue 5, and it's going to be a banger. Like that book is like all action, and that's going to be where V Ken's favorite character is going to be getting a lot of screen time.
I'm excited. Dude,
Nice.
I've planned out because I was doing a list. I try not to overplan, but also I have like a big plan. I think I'm like, because I could go into the like I have enough ideas to go into the hundreds, but I think I have like a solid 30 issue, like because there's arcs within it. But I think like my first big overall arc would be like 30 issues. But then like my first main arc is 8.
Yeah, and that's a lofty, like 30 issues is a lot, especially as an indie guy. I had somebody, I think I was actually on comics at last night, where I was like, yeah, I have it like mapped out for 30 issues. Like, that's ambitious. And I was like, yes, I am aware. Like, especially in the indie comics field, you have people coming in left and right that last maybe 3 to 4 issues on any given project.
Yeah, well, it's so draining, dude. Like, I've been enjoying writing so much.
A lot of work. It is a lot of work. It is a lot of work.
Yeah,
it is something that you do because you love it. And I do, like, I genuinely love working with the teams that I get to work with, and like V, I'm not even gonna lie. When I shot Josh the initial like proposal thing, it was literally just a shot in the dark. It's like, we're probably not going to hear anything back. It's gonna be like we're just doing this, and then Josh just hits me up and he goes, "What is this? Like, we're very interested. What is this?"
Here's what you do. I learned this. Tell V you like Final Fantasy, and then you're in. Michael's into that too.
Yeah, I am.
Nice.
Great.
Wait, which one do you like?
So I've played a couple of them, but I think my favorite at this point is 16. Clive Rossdale is like the one of the best protagonists of that franchise, and I'll fight people.
Yeah, 16 is really good. 16 is really good.
I played part of 15, and I don't like it. Maybe I just spent too much time on side quests, but the story didn't grip me the way 7 did.
15 is a very different type of game, and I will defend 15.
I love 15.
I think a lot of people missed the point that it's an allegory for the Knights of the Round Table, and so it's like a lot of fantasy stories will focus on the love between like an actual like romantic interest, but Final Fantasy 15 is about the love between a bond
the boys. No, I like
And-
the guys. I like their
Yeah, and like
yeah.
and so like the way that 15 ends and everything like that, I think really validates all of that. And like I just remember like getting to the final cutscene, and you've got Florence and the Machine covering Stand By Me as they're all sitting around the campfire together. I'm like,
don't ruin it. Don't ruin it for people. Like, okay, I will say 15 was the only video game I've played where I actually genuinely teared up at the end of it.
yeah, no, it's gut wrenching.
Yeah, hang on. 7 didn't get to you?
No, it didn't. Not in that way. No. Well, also because I knew, like, when I first played,
I knew it was coming too.
I knew it was coming. Like when I first played the OG 7 when I was a kid, like I played it in like 99 or 2000, so I already knew that like Earth died and stuff, right? So like and plus the graphics, like the OG 7 graphics, like there's only so much emotion you can get with like the Lego looking guys
on one of those faces.
And then well, to me it was all right because I knew it going in, and I was like, all right, this isn't really gonna hit. And I remember stopping the game when they're standing before that platform. I was like, I don't want to go forward. I was like, I don't want to go forward. I was like, no. And then I did, and I was like, man, this isn't that bad. And then it was when the music, like, and it's like they start laying her to rest, which in hindsight, I do wonder how she's able to sink so low, but he's also able to stand waist.
Oh, yeah. It's anime, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
It's anime.
But, yeah, man, I need to get into that. But I was like, because I've been reading a lot of Lovecraft lately, and it's like so much of it. I was shocked. Like, I knew people said Genova was like Lovecraft, but I just assumed that meant because she's a scary alien. Like, they straight up pull so much like directly from like specific stories. I was like shocked at how close Genova was to a lot of like Lovecraft stories.
Yeah, I mean, all the Final Fantasies pull a lot. Like, I mean, 7 pulls a lot from Star Wars too, like a lot, you know. And 15, you were saying 15, like is King Arthur. It's also, I feel like it's also really like it's almost like a Jesus story allegory too, with like Noctis.
I would agree with that.
You know? Like it's there's like there's definitely like
you get to Act 3. Like,
yeah. So there's like a lot of like different things they're pulling from. Yeah.
Chloe says, I like 15, but my biggest critique is that a lot of it doesn't make sense until you read other things. I did that with 7 too, because I was like, what? There's this whole side quest with Zach that literally fits the story together and it's optional. That bothered me so much.
With 7? Oh, dude, yeah. You don't even have to see that in 7.
Zach is the better protagonist.
That is not true.
I disagree.
I love Zach so much.
I love Zach too.
Yeah, I love
he's
Zach
not
too,
a better
but
protagonist.
He's not a better protagonist. No.
Because Cloud Strife's journey. Well, the point is that Zach is supposed to be better than Cloud, but that's why Cloud is a better protagonist.
No, but to a point. Like by the end of it, Cloud's way better. Than Zach.
Better.
I mean, but there's something to be said of if Zach had gotten to progress that far, he probably could have been there too.
Yeah, but his Cloud's whole mental journey is like elevates him to one of my favorite protagonists. Period.
I got you. I'm just giving guff because I know that it's a point of contention.
Well, I like no one dislikes
Zach. Yeah, I like.
No,
Zach.
nobody dislikes Zach, but there's a lot of hate for Cloud out there, and so it's funny.
Really? I don't hear a lot of hate for Cloud.
There's a lot of people who think that Cloud is just a little bit too mopey.
Oh, that makes him cool though.
Yeah,
well, he's like edgy emo thing is like what makes him cool. Like I don't know.
Well, the way they subvert it too, where it's like he's an edgy whatever, and it's like actually he's seriously messed up, and like this is an act. Like, and that's like they do something with it.
But like also like going back to how it's like Star Wars, like Zach is like literally Obi-Wan to Cloud's Luke.
Yeah,
like literally. So like Zach is cool. Like you think Zach is cooler in retrospective for playing Crisis Core, just like how Obi-Wan is like way cool after you see the prequels, but like in OG Star Wars, Obi-Wan's just kind of like whatever, and like in the OG stuff, Zach is like
a really nice old guy that could do some
yeah.
cool
Yeah, I think I don't know. Like I need to play the remake of Crisis Core.
It's good.
It's good. Yeah, it's really good.
Because I played the original Crisis Core on a mouse and keyboard that it was clearly not meant to be played on.
No, because it was made for PSP.
Dude, well, because the whole system is so like I'm like
It's very weird.
The last boss fight was one of the most. It wasn't even hard. It was so much waiting and cutscenes for every attack.
Yes.
That was annoying. Apparently, Expedition 33 it just came. I've never heard of it, but my friend told me it is
I could go on a TED talk about how Clair Obscur Expedition 33 is one of the best games I've ever played.
Yeah,
I've already logged in almost 100 hours on the goddamn thing.
my friend said
I'm 3 trophies away from platinuming it, and I initially was like, I'm not going to platinum it, and then I went, no, I'm going to do it.
Oh wow! I've never platinumed a single game in my entire life.
Dude,
I always get close, and then I'm like,
so
there's always platinums. There's always a trophy that's like impossible to get, and I'm like, fuck it. And that means I'm just not even gonna try for any of them.
yeah.
my fiance is like, the soundtrack is amazing. What's the song, Michael? It's so good. It's like the main track, which is called Lumiere. But like, if you guys haven't seen Clair Obscur Expedition 33, beautiful game made by an indie dev team with less than 100 developers that were all former like
That's
Ubisoft
cool.
guys, and like the composer was found on SoundCloud, the writer was found on Reddit, and
oh wow,
they managed to make just this beautiful game, and they attracted so the voice cast for the English voice actors had attracted some heavy hitters. You got Andy Serkis from Lord of the Rings.
What?
Charlie Cox from Daredevil
That's
are
awesome.
voicing roles in the game.
Yeah,
And
I
it
had
is
never heard of
tremendous.
it. And then my friend, this is his exact quote. He said, "It's literally the game of our generation. They're never going to top it ever." That's what he said to me.
I honestly feel
I have never
bad
even
for
heard of
Game
this.
Studio, because nothing that it is going to be very difficult for them to top this. And every game that they do after this is going to be compared to this game. And it is beautiful. It's set in this Belle Epoque French fantasy setting. So the premise is they're in this world where they're in this city called Lumiere, and every year an entire age gets wiped out by this entity called the Paintress. And so there's a giant monolith with a number written on it, and every year she brings that number down lower, and every single person that's that age effectively gets Thanos snapped. And
literal age. I thought you were saying
literally every year. It's been going on for 67 years, and so every single year this number gets lower, and the maximum age you can live to is at that age. So the expeditions are these groups of people from Lumiere that take their last year of life before they gommage to go back to the continent and try and find a way to defeat the Paintress.
That's awesome. That is such a cool.
That's a cool concept. Yeah. My cousin,
amazing.
Much like Vaughn, my cousin texted me about this a couple weeks ago, and I had never heard of it either. And he's like, "This is one of the best games I've ever played. It's my top
already
10 of all
sold
time."
3.3 million copies, and that's not including Games Pass users.
That is insane. Wow. 33 is my favorite number too. It's my dad's favorite number. So, and now it's 3.3. Here's the thing. I feel like I want to play this game, but also I have been on such a productive streak lately, and I know
I'm going to tell you. This is going to
launch a campaign in a month. I can't I want to play it.
This is one of these things where it will up your writing game. It will make you think about storytelling in a completely different way. The writing in this game is S tier, and I think within the first hour and a half of me playing, I probably wept openly 10 times. It's insanely emotional, and they hit you with a brick right off the bat.
All right, is it on Steam?
It is on Steam. It's also on PS5. It's on everything. I highly recommend. I could not give a game a larger recommendation.
Okay.
I will have to check it. I've got no time right now.
Yeah,
for the
I don't
summer,
have-
but I'm maybe in the fall.
Yeah, I understand. You're
Yeah.
getting it's like
You're what? Creating for Green Lantern. Yeah.
I'm fairly certain that you're going to become the Jorge Jimenez for Green Lantern. Like they're like Jorge Jimenez.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
We're just giving him all the Batman stuff. But like literally every single time I see a new solicit for anything Green Lantern, you're attached in it to it in some way, shape, or form. So I'm like, I'd say that's probably where they're going. Like you have a very great style, and it works really well for Green Lantern. That Kyle Rayner cover that you revealed a week ago
that was so good. Yeah.
Oh,
so
thank you.
Amazing.
Thank you so much.
I was like,
from
does this dude ever miss?
I really appreciate that, and I shout out to Pasquale Ferry who did the digital paints on that too, because he like really like popped that with the palette he used to like really bring all the entities to life and everything. It just looks so good. So that was the first time I worked with a colorist where they like painted over the lines, right? So like the lines like aren't on the top. It's like he kind of rendered on top of the lines, and I was like really curious to see how it came out, and it turned out incredibly well. And we're actually doing another cover set for the next two Green Lantern and Green Lantern Corps, like another like connecting one. So that one looks really good. We really did a great job on that one too. So I can't wait for people to see that one.
What characters have you not worked on that you really want to work on?
I mean, so in DC, I've pretty much touched every character I want to in some way, like either through a cover or an issue or whatever. But like, I mean, Green Lantern is one of my favorite franchises in DC. So if what Michael says is true, and I can just keep working on Green Lantern for like years, I would absolutely love that.
That's my prediction, man. I think that within the next 2 years, you're probably going to get an exclusivity contract, and they're going to have you doing like GL is going to be your.
Well, I would love that. I would love that.
I know, but like that's my prediction, especially with James Gunn is doing a lot of work to try and synergize the comic side and the film side, and with the Green Lantern premium TV show coming out, they're going to want to have a bunch of stuff that they can use to cross promote. Like James Gunn right now is doing Summer of Superman, right? So like
I didn't know that.
There's a huge push on the comic side to make sure that they're doing a lot of stuff to synergize with the release of Superman. And so I guarantee you're going to have something similar when the Green Lantern show comes out, and I wouldn't be surprised if you are on a short list of people to get on exclusivity contracts for that. That's just me. This is just me.
That.
Would we still be able to get Soul Striker if you got that?
Huh?
I mean, I'm still working on Soul Striker like on the side. So like, I mean, right now,
exclusivity contracts wouldn't prevent him from doing that. Like
Okay,
he would be busy, but like working on his own project, it would prevent him from taking on any outside.
It's the time. It's more the time than anything. That's kind of where the delays really happen, because like with Soul Striker, I know we're very delayed with Soul Striker. It was supposed to come out in December, and now we're aiming for the summer. Which a little update on that. We got all the art is done. Colors, line art colors, everything is done. We just sent our letterer hopefully our last round of notes for the lettering for like edits on like grammar and stuff.
And then it's off to pre-press.
Yeah, no, I got all the graphic design stuff done, like the cover work, the back matter pages, all that's done. So hopefully we're hoping within the next, depending on how fast my letterer can assemble all the covers together and get the edits done and stuff, we're hoping the next week or so to get everything off to the printer. So we're really close. Yeah, I'm super excited about it. It's been a ton of work, especially because I've been so busy with DC stuff as well. So it's just time juggling everything has been really hard. But yeah, we're really excited about it. And like obviously me and Jason started writing issue 2, so it's definitely something that we're going to keep going with. But just time and everything is like, I want to get this one out and ship to people before I start really even like diving into issue 2 stuff right now,
Yeah. It looks great, man. Like Soul Striker. Yeah. I'm really excited.
It's on one of my most anticipated reads for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. I hope you guys enjoy it. Super proud about it. Yeah.
So we're real quick. I just shared the link to his in the chat, but real quick, his is still on Indiegogo. So definitely get Michael's book first within the hour, and then after the hour is up, get V's book. There you go. But these are good. Thank you.
Yeah. I've read just reading it
Very
through like
smart, putting the nudie cover behind a high paywall. Very smart.
it's not a nudie cover. It's a tasteful cover.
It's tasteful.
It's an homage to like Baywatch pinups from the 90s.
I'm
It's
not knocking
tasteful.
it. I'm
Yeah,
in favor
yeah.
of it. I support it. I support it.
Yeah, we're going. Well, for issue 2, there's going to be a preview. In the back, I previewed some covers that we're having for issue 2. So, just to give people a little sneak peek now, I can tell you who's doing covers. We were going to have me. Obviously, I'm going to do a couple of them, and then we've got Jordan Gunderson, who's a fantastic Aspen artist. He's going to do one of the covers, and Tyler Kirkham did a cover. It looks awesome. That's previewed in the back as well in black and white. And then we're also going to have Anthony Marquez, who did a lot of work for DC with like Batman and Superman. He runs the Kubert School, and he actually owns the Kubert School, and so he's doing a cover too. And hopefully we'll get Brett Booth to do another cover too. So that's going to be the lineup for issue 2's cover set.
How insane is it? I mean, you worked with Brett. What, like, how insane is it to get to actually collaborate with another artist like Brett?
Dude, Brett. I mean, Brett was like, he was one of the guys that like I grew up like loving his work, right? So like when I was in college, I just he was doing comics like when I was a kid, but I just wasn't aware of like the names and stuff. And when I was in college, he actually started working at DC, and the first thing he did was a Lara Flees Green Lantern Christmas special, and it was a one-shot issue written by Jeff Johns and Andrew Dahlhaus colored it and Brett drew it. And I remember like because I at the time I was like, I don't know, 22. I didn't know who he was. Like I didn't recognize the name, and I was like, "Holy crap, this art's amazing!" Like I thought he was like a young guy because like I wasn't aware of him, like not realizing that he was
as a
from
kid,
the
you're
90s.
not paying attention to that, right? Like, I completely understand. Like, I get where you're coming from.
Yeah. So like when I was in college, I'm like, this guy's amazing. So I looked him up, and I was like, oh, this guy like worked at Wildstorm. This guy's like a legend, right? So like I instantly became a huge fan of his work, and he started doing a ton of work at DC at that point. Like he was doing Teen Titans, and he did Justice League. This is like New 52. And then when he went to New 52, I was like, oh my God, this guy's like awesome. And so I remember he was the first like pro, like big name pro who followed me on Twitter back then. Like when I was just posting stuff, like trying to get work. And he was the first guy who followed me. I was like, holy crap, Brett Booth followed me. And I remember like running to my roommate at the time, and I was like, dude, check it out, Brett Booth followed me. He's like, oh my God, dude, that's awesome. And so like, it was just really, and he was always friendly online to me and stuff. And we kind of built a rapport. And then when I started actually working at DC, we started like becoming more like friends and stuff. And like I actually met up with him at a convention here in Connecticut back then, and like we because we became friends and like we hung out and stuff. And so now I've got like his phone number, and so it's just cool to like be like tight with him, like so it's like a childhood like dream,
That literally is the dream. It's like it's one of those things, man. And like it was a similar thing when I got to get you hire you for the cover. It was one of those things like I didn't think I'd ever get a chance to work with somebody like this. This is great. And so like it's one of these things that it's really cool to see how things progress. And like I like it. It's also been really cool seeing, since we have connected, I get to see like all of your stuff that you've been putting out there. And I'm actually a really big fan of the Titans run. I think you did a couple covers for back during Rebirth.
I did. So I didn't do any covers. I did an issue of that. I did like interiors on one of the issues. Yeah.
Yeah. But like, the point is, I love that run.
Great. Yeah.
The opening couple of issues of that were like emotional bricks to the face. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, and Brett like crushed it with the designs of that. For those who don't know, Brett Booth, he was the main artist on that Titans run.
Wally West's Rebirth costume is his best costume that he's ever had.
Oh, dude, yeah.
It is the perfect combination of Kid Flash and actual Flash, and
dude,
it's a full circle design. And I could not. I like the fact that DC has tried to change it like 12 times. Like, stop messing with perfection. Just let them have it.
Looking at it now, I've seen this like in passing, but I mean, I think this is probably the best.
Where his hair is sticking out, but he's got the two-tone shade of red, which is like the super dark red versus the bright red. Like, really, really great design. Yeah, it's awesome.
And then the silver for the lightning bolts and the details and everything like that. It was where it was at.
Yeah, it gave him a nice visual distinct look from Barry, but also he still looked like the Flash. You know, it was like a
Correct.
great design. Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. I like the look of that design. All right, so we have about, I think, like an hour left in this campaign, guys. We're $14. Oh wait, I didn't close out of that. We are $14 away from, what does everyone unlock at 5,500?
So what that unlocks at 5,500 is here. I'll share my screen real quick because I need to it's a mini print. So if you got the we did a 12-page preview of Elysian Fields where we had a wraparound sketch cover of Achilles dragging Hector's body around the city of Troy from the Iliad. And so we had it fully colored and everything like that.
Nice.
So when we cross 5,500, everyone gets this as a mini print.
That's awesome.
Nice. That's dope.
That's a great cover, yeah. Or great print, yeah.
Yeah, I love that. All right, so I want it. And, all right, we just need one backer. Everyone could share this link out, even if it's not on the stream. Just share it out. I'll go ahead and tweet it. Or let's see, what is it, like 1 hour left?
Yeah, no, like we're on the final countdown for sure.
Yeah, I just made a post right before I hopped on here. I posted a story with a link. So
I appreciate
hopefully,
it.
Yeah, man, I want to see this succeed as much as possible because, like, I being on the other side of it now, I know how much work and how hard it is.
Oh my
to
God.
do. It is so much work. It is so much work and so much time and energy. So, like, I definitely want you to get as much success as you possibly can with it, and because it's an awesome looking book. Like I said, like the art looks incredible. I know the story is probably going to be awesome, and it's a cool like fantasy stuff. Like it's great.
I am very proud with how the story came out, and I as excited as I am for this book, I'm even more excited for issue 2. And at the end of the stream, I'm actually going to do a cover reveal of the second book because, gotta get people hyped.
Yeah. And listen, if you are like, hey, I don't know if I can afford to pay physical, $5 for digital. Come on.
$5 for the digital. And on top of that, I've really made things as affordable as I could possibly make them. So the books are 44 pages of story, and we are doing them in an 8.5 by 11 prestige format. So like oversized.
This is an insane deal. Like, especially knowing how much that costs and knowing how much work goes into that. That is insane what he's offering.
So our prices for all the covers is $15, and that covers your physical book and your digital. So you're effectively getting $5 for the digital and then $10 for your actual book. I wanted to make it as affordable as humanly possible because I know that crazy times are upon us, but I want as many people as I can to come in and enjoy the book.
It's insane. The amount of work, dude. Like, I didn't realize because I'm like, oh, this is fun. I'll write comics, and then someone else does the art, and it's like, I'm like, that's all you need to do. And then it's like, oh, how do those credit pages happen? I didn't think of that. Oh, you don't know what bleed lines are? You have to consider that. Printing costs. The amount of copies you print has a big factor.
Press is a bitch.
I hate it. It is my least favorite part of the process, I think. Because it's like, oh my God, it's right there, just literally and then it's like you have to wait. And oh my God, this time it was less painful, but then, and it, my printer was great about it. They messed up printing my book, this with the staples, twice in a row. So that's why the only reason it shipped out in May and not April was because of that. Twice. But otherwise, marketing too. I'm so sick of telling you how good the book. I want you to read it. I'm like, I'm so sick of telling you how good. Like, especially because I've been writing a ton lately, and sometimes it's frustrating to like pry yourself away because you have to get on streams and schedule the streams. And
that's part of it, man. It's all a part of the work, and you got to go out. And it's one of those things where I always have fun doing the streams, but you're right. There are definitely moments where you're in the middle of a breakthrough on a script or what have you, and you don't want to stop, but you've got to because there is a professional obligation to go and promote your work.
Mhm.
And it's an incredible experience. When I was getting in, I had to teach myself a lot of stuff, and I think everybody does to an extent, right? Like this is very much a comedy of errors to your way of success in the comic book industry. Is like there's no set way to do it, either as an artist or as a writer. Like, V, how many submissions did you do before you got your first professional gig? Like
A lot. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And my
like
first.
I'm sure that there were times you're like, oh man, I've so leveled up my stuff. This is going to be the year. Then you don't hear anything back.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Yeah. No, I remember one time I don't know how detailed I want to get in the story, but like I had gotten, this is like 2012. I had gotten a sample script opportunity with an editor at one of the big two, and I like put like everything I had into it, and like I was like, oh, I'm definitely gonna get hired, I'm gonna draw like huge books. And they came back and were like, oh, it's okay, but blah blah blah, and just had a bunch of like notes and like essentially like, you're getting better but just not there yet, keep improving. I remember being so depressed. Like I thought,
dude.
like I thought like I had nothing left in the tank. I was like, how do I get better than this? This is like the best I ever did. Like how, like I remember just being insanely depressed after that. But like you shake it off and you keep going. And
100%. And I mean, like that's for all of us. I remember, like I'm obviously not at any of the big two yet. As a writer, it's a very convoluted process to get into any of those companies, because there's no real submission process. Marvel and DC don't take solicited pitches. Image, you have to have like a quarter of the book done in order to even pitch.
I asked Jeff Johns, I was like, how do you do it as a writer? It's like, you got to have something physically to show. It's like, okay, so you need the artist to pay. So artists, you will always, like, there will always be a demand. I'm not saying it's easy, it's certainly not. No, but it's like, they want you. No one's going to be like, write me a pretty picture. Or like, you can't do writing commissions,
That's the whole thing. Writing is very much a connections game, especially getting into. So it's like, you get in through like Image, Dark Horse, Boom, those publishers as a writer, and you're right, Vaughn. You have to come in with a physical product to show, because they're not just going to throw money at you because you have a good idea. You need to be able to showcase that you're willing to put your money where your mouth is and put out a book, and then they'll bring you to the table.
They'll be like, wow, like you're like, I've been tabling out of content all the time. Like, wow, your artwork is so good. I'm like, I'm
the writer.
I'm the writer, and like, oh, and then they give me like a pity, like, that's still cool.
But that's still all right. No, but like it's a whole thing of, this industry is not for the faint of heart. And it takes a lot to get anywhere. And there is no exact science on how to do it. You get there when you get there. And V put it perfectly. It's like you just gotta keep getting up and get back in. Like, when I first got in, I had so this is actually a reboot of my first.
I remember that.
I did when I came in. And so our Zero issue, which was the first book that I had done, had gotten some pretty solid success. And I thought that I was like, oh man, I knew nothing when I came in and I did this, and I was really successful. Imagine how much better it's going to be when I do the second book. And now I have all of these things that I know. And then I fell promptly right on my face and into concrete. And it was a moment where I was like, I might not be able to do this.
Yeah.
And I almost quit. And then that's around the time where I had the idea for the Embrace. And the Embrace campaign did very well, and it resonated with people. And, that was 5 years ago. And in that time between writing and editing, I've been a part of like 9 projects. And I've learned a lot, and I still have a lot to learn. But, and I don't know if my destiny is ever to write for any of the big two or have my books at any of those publishers. I don't know if it's even something I want.
Yeah.
But
I've thought
I am so incredibly proud of everything that I have accomplished and everything that I've gotten to do since then. And it's brought me I've gotten to work with V. and I'm hoping that I get to work with other great people, and I'm looking to do more stuff with V at some point. You know, and
That'd be awesome. Yeah.
It's an exciting time, and yeah, so it's a great thing to be a part of this industry, as tough as it can be at times, as relentless as it can be. I don't know if I would I don't know what I have to do it.
We're over our 5,506. Okay.
Nice.
Is there an email blast that comes out with an? I like how Kickstarter actually counts it down, and you go up like this, and I don't.
Dude, I wish I don't know if they send an email blast. I know that like if you're following a campaign, you get a notice. I think on the day that it's like final day. Does that sound right, V?
Yeah. They definitely send out.
I got an
email blast, but I don't know at what times it goes out though.
Yeah. I got one at 8 hours, and I was like, "Why that? Okay." I was like, I don't know why they did it. So maybe they do multiple in the last day.
Well, I think 8 hours because it gives people more time to do it. Like, I think if it's like 1 hour left, like
5 minutes.
Yeah, right. Now hurry. Yeah.
Oh man, there is a terrible stream online somewhere of me doing the Kickstarter for the collection of the original Elysian Fields, where we were $50 away from funding, and we didn't make it.
That's so.
We ran out the clock.
Oh, I'm a super backer now. Let's go. Right. Nice.
I just remember that, and I was like, "Oh, that was an awful day." That was like
sorry about that,
dude.
Dude, it's all good. This was years ago, and it was like one of these things where I had done the Kickstarter and I had like stopped really promoting it and everything because I was going through stuff, and then I came back and I looked at it. It's like, oh, I'm actually like not that far away from the funding goal. If I really push, I could do this. And so then I did. Like I went all in, and we came $50 away. And like there were people in the middle of doing like a pledge to push us over. I got like 6 messages. But like,
oh wow,
when the clock runs out on Kickstarter, the clock runs out.
Mm-hmm.
Did you do a 30-day campaign or a 60-day campaign?
On this one, I did a 60. I don't think I will ever do a 60-day campaign again on Kickstarter, because like Kickstarter is definitely designed for FOMO. Indiegogo is, hey, you have like make this as long as you possibly can, right? Yeah. And so that's why I did it the way that I had done, was because the majority of my campaigns in the past were Indiegogos. Yeah. So like what you would do is you would run the campaign for 30 days, and then Indiegogo gives you the opportunity to extend your campaign. So you effectively get to do a closeout twice.
Right. So but the thing is, people have bought into that, and I don't think people take closeouts as all right, so I don't think I'm gonna do Indiegogo for issue 3. Because
I don't use Indiegogo anymore because of the shadow banning issue.
Yeah, the shadow ban, the Fund My Comic as basically they take a smaller percentage, and it's like and it's a lot of the same people. So it's like, I'll just do Fund My Comic. And also what I think the last nail was I did a 60-day campaign on Indiegogo, just a $500 goal. And then I put it down, and I'm like, all right, here, come on, Indiegogo fans. And then it was like 3 people back. And I was like, all right. And then it was like we barely reached the goal. And then the next weekend, I made more than one of that in one day at a con. And I was like, why am I putting all this effort into a third campaign?
It's one of these things where there's a lot of pros and cons for all of the
there's no perfect
crowdfunding platforms, right? So like Fund My Comic has the lowest platform fees. Obviously, it's directly tapped into the indie comic community. That's its focus. So like those are the pros really for that. The cons are it's a relatively young site.
Yeah. They don't have add-ons. That's a big thing.
They don't have add-ons. There's some buggy UI things. And as a result of it being a young site, it doesn't have near the audience or reach. So like you're doing all of your promoting for you. The site's algorithm pushing it really isn't doing anything for you except sending it to the exact same pool of people over and over and over again.
So
like those are the pros and cons of that site. Indiegogo, you have a massive platform that has a lot of backers on it. That being said, there are issues with the shadow banning thing. I don't think is an actively targeted thing. I think they tried to streamline their UI a few years ago to try and filter, to streamline how projects get highlighted, and it's completely backfired, and they have no idea how to fix it.
Well, another thing I'd say with Indiegogo is it's not like, okay, so I go to Indiegogo right now. You have to really like put in, like really search for the comics section. Kickstarter, I go there, boom, like right there on the tab.
Well,
it's right there.
So that's the other big thing about Indiegogo is it's predominantly for tech. The reason why it kind of had the crowdfunding boon for comics was there were issues with Kickstarter having like targeting specific creators because of either political beliefs or this, that, the other, to get them off of their platform under its previous management.
Yeah, but Indiegogo itself was never the choice.
No,
Indiegogo is a fine for the record. I like Indiegogo as a platform.
No, and as I said, I'm just going through and I'm listing the pros and cons of each. And that's ultimately what it comes down to. Is these are the three major platforms. I think BackerKits actually has its own site now. There's a couple of more that are out there that I could.
BackerKit, I've heard good things about.
But like it's a whole thing of these are the tools that are just at our disposal as indie creators, and you got to learn how to use them and make the best of them. Mm-hmm. And there are certain times where, like, for me, I've had 3 campaigns in the past 3 years that have gotten shadow banned. So I no longer feel welcome on the platform of Indiegogo. I'm not going to continue using them. Yeah. I'm not going to begrudge anyone of using them. And I've still backed a couple of things on Indiegogo because I know that there are certain creators where that's where their audience is. Yeah, and that's fine.
People just want what they're used to. I don't really use Indiegogo anymore. Anyway, dude. All right, I wish I had a bigger audience, but it's also I barely stream, so I apologize. But
it's all good, man.
Trying to pull in all the people I can. We got 3 backers.
Please don't apologize. At the end of the day, you're hosting me on a Tuesday night for a closeout.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
Yeah,
and we still have people here in the chat. I think we've had like 10. 15 people here throughout the stream. It's not a terrible thing.
Here's the thing. God damn, my brain. Need more V-Man gaming. I used to do V-Man gaming. I would just play Final Fantasy VII over and over and over and over again. I would get stuck on side quests forever. And I noticed the chat really liked seeing me lose. They really liked seeing me
rage. because the chat wants to troll you. That's how it goes.
But let's see. Rebirth. All right, if I could take it back. First of all, that was a game where I was close to platinum, and then I saw what I had to do to get I was probably 90% there, and I'm like, I don't want to do this 10%. This just doesn't seem fun. And I was like, what
did you have to do to get platinum on that?
I was like emotionally drained. The last boss fight of the game is like 8 boss fights stacked on top of each other. And then also you have to look at explain videos, and even then, basically, the ending was, I mean, something might have happened.
I just hate the idea that for all these games that. By the way, can you still hear me?
Yes.
Because my AirPods died, so I had to switch over mid sentence back there. I just hate how all these games get the platinum. You have to like rebeat it on like hard mode because like I don't want to have to like replay the game. Like I literally just spent 80+ hours doing this. Like I don't want to go back again. Like I need time to do that. And then like for the time for me to like gauge my interest to go back, I forget how to play the game, so I'm not good enough to play it on hard mode. So I'm like, screw it, not doing hard mode.
So I will say this: you will not have that issue with Claire Obscure. It is a relatively short game.
Okay.
Yes.
You could technically platinum it in one playthrough if you had like a guide open to tell you.
I use guides all the time.
You could platinum it in one playthrough.
I needed one for things in FF7, especially because they'd be like the best character in the game. Actually, I found Vincent. Well, I found them pretty much. Yuffie I had to find after because they were like, I was like, what? You just like walk in the grass and then you have to say the right prompt and this. I had to go back for her. But Vincent, who's supposed to be the harder one, I found on my own. The only thing I used the guide for was you have to like, I think manually find a certain step or something like that. And I was fine with that, except there was the random encounters. And I'm like, I don't want to keep walking back through this. Just tell me where it is. Like, I know I can find it. I don't feel like dealing with the random encounters anymore.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I mean, on Switch, on the Switch, you can like disengage random encounters.
Really? Oh.
Yeah.
See, little things like that.
I mean,
I do appreciate.
The Switch version has like crazy cheats. Like one of the cheats, like you click down, it's either left or the right joystick, I'm not sure, but like it toggles through the cheats, and like one's random encounters on or off. One's every fight's limit break constantly. So like every turn you can use your limit break. And then one is like limit break all the time and full health all the time. It's just basically like if you just want to play the story and like don't care about the game at all, it's like what you do, you know.
If they could get rid of the frog mechanic, if there's a cheat, that screwed me over because the whole game I played through. I talked about this in my video. I played through. I was like, this is stupid, the frog thing. And then the final boss, Sephiroth, turns you into a frog, and I was like, I have to learn this stupid mechanic. So I went back and I had to learn that. I hated that.
That's Vaughn. You know what that sounds like to me, Vaughn? That sounds like a gig.
I did have to. I was like, because the game has like an abrupt spike in difficulty if you're playing it fairly casually when you get started.
100%. And you see, I'm used to that kind of thing. I'm one of those sadistic people that's beaten every single Soulsborne game that's ever been released ever. And so like one of the games that I have platinumed is Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. I
heard that's insanely hard.
I have platinumed it twice because I did it on my PS4 years ago, and then I got it for my PC, and I platinumed it there too. So like I have 100% of that game twice. Sekiro is a very interesting game. I don't know if I would say like it. I definitely understand why people think it's hard. It's very rhythm based, and it's all about like perfect blocking. But like once you get good at that, it becomes very good. And like I would say that it's probably got one of the best new game pluses of anything I've ever played. Like,
oh, cool.
Going and doing the game, because like I think one of the big problems that a lot of people have with Sekiro is that it's very easy for you to get to an area where you're very underleveled for in your first playthrough. And so you'll be like, how do I even do this? But then when you're going back through a new game plus, you've already unlocked everything that you need to be competent to be handling all this stuff. So it feels a lot easier while still being difficult. And so it allows you better game mastery. And I really like it. I would say that the only boss fight in the game that I died to more than like 10 times was Lord Ishin, the Sword Saint. That guy can go jump off a cliff. I hate that fight.
PC. Wait, so you get PC? Sorry, I was looking at. I can't. No. I'm tempted, and I know no, because I'm being very productive lately, and I can't. I want to start this game, but I'm afraid
I'm going to just to troll you, Vaughn. I'm going to gift you Expedition 33. I'm going to find you.
I would not be opposed. You know? I would not be opposed.
Ruin your productivity streak.
Listen,
here.
Man, yeah, it's just because I'm launching in a month.
I completely get it, and like I'm juggling a whole bit. Like I just closed on my house this past week, which is very exciting.
Congrats.
I'm a first-time homeowner. It's such a good feeling. And my fiance came down for the weekend, and we started kind of planning out how we're going to furnish it and everything like that. So there's a lot going on. obviously we've got we've got Elysian Fields where I'm making sure everything's ready, so that way once the money gets released from Kickstarter, we get the printers printing, we get the boxes made, everything that needs to be done. Going with that, I have a convention coming up this weekend, so I get it. Like, there's always a lot going on, but it's also important to take a pause and enjoy things.
What conventions are you doing this summer?
So right now I have Big Lit Comic-Con for Fairfax. I'm waitlisted at Baltimore. I don't think I'm going to get it, and even if I do, I might not go through with it because it's very expensive, and I just don't have the base to warrant that. I don't know if I would be able to draw in enough people to make up my table cost, let alone any money that I'd have to spend for a hotel.
Yeah.
Damn, I didn't hear back from Baltimore. Damn.
Vaughn, which ones are you doing this summer?
Heroes Con, Garden State Comic Fest. So I'll see you at both of those. Terrific Con. I think that's mainly it.
I also have Fairfax Comic Con, but that's more towards the fall.
Yeah, because I'm
trying to make sure I stick.
Is that Connecticut? Connecticut?
No, I'm in Virginia.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So like that's the whole thing. I do want to at some point, V, I am going to figure out a way to get to a convention that you are at, because I would love to have a whole thing where like I bring a whole bunch of extra of your cover and we have like a hangout. Like
that'd be fun, yeah.
I'm so down.
Definitely, man, that'd be fun. Well, if you come to the Northeast, like that's mainly where most of my conventions are. I'm doing like Vaughn said, I'm doing Heroes Con. That's in North Carolina, and I'm doing
come down to the district area. we have some good conventions. We have some good ones.
Tell them to reach out to Josh and let's see if
I've talked to him about it. He's like, I'll see what I can't do for the next year. I was like, yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah,
he's gonna forget. Josh is a great dude, by the way. Like I've really enjoyed chatting with him. I sent him a script for something that I've written. I'm waiting to hear back from him, but there's another guy that he represents that I think that would do a really good job on that. And if he thinks it'll be interesting,
nice. Yeah, shout out to Josh. He's my art rep. He runs Modern Mythology Comic Art. Awesome guy. Super nice. Cool, yeah. So if you want any original art from me or commissions or anything like that, go to Modern Mythology Comic Art.
I'll tell you what, if that V. Ken Marion cover doesn't sell, I'll be having a conversation with him because absolutely would love to have that in my new office at my house.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice.
Such a good looking cover, dude. That's awesome.
Looking at that.
If you want to talk about Mike, because I'll have to. If you want to draw, like, we'll figure out what you want to draw. I could send you everything for issue 3, and they could be like, just draw whatever. If you want to draw the main character, fine. If you want to draw any of the new, fine. We'll figure something out.
Okay.
Especially it's cool because you know the series, so for you to want to draw anything is cool. I'm also in a weird spot where like every issue, it's like in a. My goal is to build the status quo, basically. I'll keep shaking it up like what they did with the X-Men, but I'll have a status quo by the end of my first arc, kind of.
Nice.
Well, I guess kind of in issue 3, it's almost cemented because it's like we do have Phenomenova is meant to be Miles, the new kid coming in. Now we actually have the title team is finally showing up 3 issues in, but better late than never.
Nice.
Which was annoying for the first 2 issues of campaigning. I'm like, no, Phenomenova is not in this issue. I'm like, what?
That's cool though. I always think it's cool when like titles are like a little confusing. Like you know what I mean? Like not like so much so that they're like incomprehensible, but like I like when they're a little complicated, like in terms of like the actual name title of the book. Like I always think that's really interesting. That's something that like anime does really well, I think. Where like
either it's over explained or it's vague. There's no in between. It'll be like Which, by the way, this is one of the weird things. I was looking into it. There is an anime where there's this one of Lovecraft's monsters is portrayed as a teenage schoolgirl. And I was like, what?
That's weird. That's very weird.
That's anime though for you. Like that's
yeah, but I was like, oh, that's so sick. They did an anime, and then I looked it up. And so for context, this Nyarlathotep is like a horrifying monster from the mythos that controls people's dreams. Hold on real quick. This is Nyarlathotep. And I was like, wow, they're doing an anime with him. So the anime is like this.
So weird.
And I was like,
Hell
what?
yeah.
So apparently, because he can shapeshift, this is the biggest stretch I have ever seen. He just becomes like one of them.
So
I don't know what.
have you ever heard of the anime / manga Fate?
I've heard of it.
I've heard of it. I've never read it. Yeah,
All right,
I
so
know nothing about it.
really interesting. Has a very similar premise to Elysian Fields, but like they have like it's very funny because from a writing standpoint, they have some of the best written representations of some of these historical and mythic characters that you will ever see. Like they have in Fate Zero, which is probably my favorite series.
I've heard that's good.
They have Iskandar, who is Alexander the Great, and it is the best representative. Speaking as a guy who wrote his senior seminar on Alexander's adoption of Persian customs, it is the best representation of Alexander the Great in media ever.
That's cool.
It completely captures his persona, in my opinion, like perfectly. Like the way that he talks, acts, everything, his philosophy, it is all there. His design's weird, but like the personalities there. As I say, Gilgamesh shows up in that same show, and he's like in the show, he's in this very weird, almost medieval style plate armor, and he's like blonde hair, gold eyes, super skinny. Not what you would expect Gilgamesh to look like at all. But the writing for him is like on point.
That's
like
cool.
He's every bit of a piece of shit as Gilgamesh should be.
That's cool.
I really like when like how a lot of animes do this, where like they'll take concepts or themes or ideas that like the world collectively knows, and they'll like adapt them. You know what I mean? Into a unique way. So like, I just watched Attack on Titan for the first time. I got super into it.
I've heard it's good.
Yeah, it's so good. I got my dad to watch it.
It's very
like,
good.
Yeah.
I have a very like everyone looks at me weird. I think Eren Yeager should have died in the first season. Just saying.
I see. I don't think he should have died, but I hate what happens to him in season 4. I hate how they turn him into a bad guy. Like I hate that so much. But
I think that it would have been way better if he was a red herring protagonist and it was all a hopeless futility of we need to avenge Eren.
I mean, he kind of is, like, because it's they set him up in the first 3 seasons that he's going to be Luke Skywalker, but he's Darth Vader. Like that's what.
See, I didn't know any of this. Thanks, guys.
Oh, geez. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
I wasn't the one that dropped the full-on spoiler.
It's all good.
But there's enough. I kept it vague enough that if you want to.
I'm sure. I'm interested.
No. But why I brought it up though was like on the surface, like when you first start watching it, first start reading it, whatever, it's literally a riff on like Jack and the Giant Beanstalk. Like in terms of like the visuals, right? It's like it's this like very like
that's a great way to put it too. I hadn't thought of it that way, but that's really
Like the visuals of the town are like fairy tale storybook kind of like architecture, and like there's giants that they eat people. So it's like the visual language is like a riff on that, but then it like expands the story into this crazy like insanely awesome creative like about like war and like classism and all sorts of stuff that like you never think.
I also think that they should never have changed the opening theme music. I know that it is
the first one's so good.
The first opener is perfect, and they should have just done what Cowboy Bebop and all of the old school anime from the 90s and everything did, where they just kept it.
Yeah,
Like you could have changed the opening animations,
but just kept the same.
That song was iconic, and it's what everyone associated with Attack on Titan.
Dude, season 4's opener, like the song and the visuals were like not great. I was like, this is like not hype.
Sucks. That's always the worst. Although I will take that over the 2016-2018 Berserk anime, where the openers were beautifully hand-drawn 2D animation, and then the series was the ugliest 3D animation that you could possibly imagine.
I hate when anime does the CG like
there are some of them that pull it off. Like Demon Slayer, I think, is a great example. If you've seen the Mugen Train movie, the way like they don't do it on the character models, but they will use CGI to amplify the effects of like the elemental effects on the blades.
That's cool.
It looks really good. But like, I agree with you. I think when they because effectively it's if we're doing the 3D modeling, we can try and create a stopgap and streamline the process. But like,
it doesn't look as good.
Shortcuts don't do well, and especially with Berserk, man. Kentaro Miura is known for his hyper detailed stuff. Like, you're going to try and make a shortcut. Like, I get it. It's daunting. No, I wouldn't want to animate. I wouldn't want to be the guy in charge of animating Kentaro Miura's art. Like, I would be afraid of horribly screwing it up. Right. Like every single one of, like, especially when you're looking at his landscape pieces, it's like classical freaking fine art.
Yeah.
So like, I get it. But nothing worth doing is something that you should take a shortcut on, right? Like you should put in the effort. And that's not to say, like, obviously there are certain things that you do shortcuts with, and this is any industry. But like, know when to pick your battles. Trying to streamline the process so you don't have to work as hard, making the animation look as crisp as Miura's art in the panels, is the wrong mindset to go in doing an adaptation of Berserk.
The problem is my to read, to watch, to play list is always so massive.
Yeah.
I'm never able to get through it.
I know. I agree with that. What for me, what make stuff knock to the top of the pile is whatever my wife wants to watch with me. That just kind of like automatically shifts right to the top.
That's a perfect way to do it.
so
smart.
I've watched a ton of stuff that I wouldn't have normally watched because it's stuff that like she really likes. So
that's interesting.
Have you ever seen Freyrin at Journey's End?
I have not, but her cousin has been telling us to watch it, and it sounds like something.
It is one of the most wholesome things you will ever see. It definitely takes itself seriously and has some action stuff every now and again, but like, it's genuinely just a very wholesome premise. I'm not like, for anyone that's interested, it's effectively about this elven girl who has who was a part of this heroic party of champions that defeated the Demon King, and she has this kind of immortal life crisis when when one of her friends dies, that she realizes that she hasn't really gotten to know the people in her life, and so she makes it a point to kind of understand and get to know people better as she lives on forever. And it is genuinely beautiful, and the way that it handles passing of time and her perception of time and everything like that is genuinely interesting. And the animation and music of it is just gorgeous.
That sounds cool. Yeah, there was one that we watched. It's so, because that's like a fantasy thing, right?
Yes, absolutely. It kind of feels like a D&D party going off the rails.
Yeah, there was one that we watched called Snow White with red hair. That again would not.
That's
be-
what it's.
I know that one.
Dude,
Yeah,
anime titles are
Yeah.
so like I put so much effort into my titles, and
Yeah.
they just call it shit like that.
yeah. Well, it's just funny because
Sometimes they
the
do.
title
Like,
the title is not like great, but like Laura like really liked it, and she's like, watch it with me, and so like it was surprisingly really good. Like it had enough like action and like adventure stuff that like had me hooked, like along with like the romance stuff that like she really likes, you know?
Well, and so like that's the whole thing is like in terms of the titles, you have to remember that these titles are being translated from Japanese to English, so it probably sounds way better in the traditional Japanese. But B, like that's also not the case with every single one of them. Like probably one of my top anime / manga recommends of all time, and I consider it the ultimate gateway anime, is Full Metal Alchemist.
Oh yeah,
That's a great title. Yeah,
Brotherhood.
And Full Metal Alchemist, fantastic title, and
Yeah.
holy shit, is Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood just
Amazing.
still one of like the best things
So
you
good.
will ever watch.
That one has
Like-
a great title, and it's also great title and great story, great character designs, like
And
all
if-
around. One of my favorites. I probably pull from it every now and again. For like, I'll be like,
if you
oh,
like
Full
that,
Metal,
you
like
need
this.
to check out Arslan, because that is another book that she did. That same mangaka, she did a manga adaptation of this light novel called Arslan, and so she did Arslan Senki, Heroic Legends of Arslan. It's like it's King Arthur set in ancient Persia is like how I pitch it. Like it's
See,
really,
I don't know anything about history. When you start talking, I realize I have no idea what the hell I'm
oh
talking
man, dude.
Like,
So
when you-
like it's
So if I have historical stuff, I wanna disclose it. Oh my god. Fucking super chat. Vaucoma for $1.99. I dislike gay stuff. Thank you for the money. He pays me to insult me every stream. And
well, I mean, hey man, that's $2
yeah,
that you just earned off of
yeah.
that guy's hate. That's great.
yeah, no, it's great. Really, thank you. Very cool. You know, would it kill you to one time like say something nice to me in a super chat?
Probably.
Probably
Just
would.
accept
He would
$1.
die. He would
But-
die, I think. Anyway, yeah, there was. Let's see, Elysian Fields. So we got. Come on, one. This is bothering me that it's an odd number here, and it's 174. Can we just like 175 at least? Like, it really is bothering me. I know it's like a little thing, but it's
Does stuff like
I'd
that?
love to
Does
get
that
up
stuff
to
like that
200
bother you in
characters.
real life
That would
too?
make me
Yeah, like all right, so I have OCD. So shit like that tends to bother me. But it's also bothering me because I want my good friend Michael Odin to get another backer.
I mean, yeah, I
Yeah,
would.
it's another backer.
So that's the primary reason, is because I think in terms of goals within goals within goals within goals. But also I mean, yeah, man, I like that. You know.
I mean,
One of the
hey,
other things I learned is like Kickstarter, they want you to lower your shipping costs, even if it means increasing the price of the book. So I'm going to do that going forward, I think, on campaigns.
Shipping,
I mean-
shipping is so expensive. I think that's
It's
something that
so
people don't seem to realize because Amazon's and not only Amazon but stores in general have conditioned people to think shipping's only a couple dollars. But like when you're like doing it yourself and you're not like a
it's
mega
about
corporation,
it's
really
generally
expensive.
speaking for domestic shipping anywhere between $6 and $8 depending on the
So
package.
bad, dude.
the
It's
size
so
of the
bad.
parcel.
Oh yeah,
and
it's more than that, dude. When I send out original art, it's like $20.
So
Like,
original
it's
art's
a lot.
different because it also needs to be it also should be insured. And with the 11x17, that'll increase that. Plus, I'm sure that you put on like a fragile sticker, which occurs. I've been doing this long enough where I've learned some like fun little side steps. But in terms of shipping the comics, it's like you're looking at probably anywhere between $6 to $8
So
for
bad.
domestic shipping.
That's why global
I've
comics.
taken a hit on that. I'm only charging $5 for domestic shipping for the books for my backers on this.
Insane.
And I know I'm taking the hit, but I would rather have more people back and I take a little bit of the loss than the other way around. I want this to be as accessible as humanly possible. Like that's what I want to do, because I think that, like, for me, that's what's important. I want to reach as many people as I possibly can. And I know things are tough right now. Like, there are a lot of people who look at something like, oh man, this looks really great, but I don't know if I can afford it right now.
Global Comics, baby. Phenomenal
Yeah,
doesn't
Global
Global Comics, so I don't have to pay for shipping or printing, and neither do you. Just read it on there. If you have a membership, you don't even have to pay for the book. You could just read it with a membership.
Absolutely.
So that's my recommendation of Global Comics.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't used that, I recommend them.
Definitely look into it for sure. But yeah, everyone watching now, if you haven't backed Elysian Fields, please go and back and check it out. Because like I said before, the art looks incredible.
Yeah.
You can hear Michael's passion for like all the work he put into it. And this is definitely a book that like deserves to be read by people. So definitely go out there and back.
Yeah.
God, how much time? We got 19
We
minutes
got
left.
20 minutes
Yeah.
left. We got 19 minutes on the clock.
Let's see. I will go ahead and I mean the link is already in the chat, but I'll just throw it in there again. Literally
I'm not seeing any chats. Is there any chats going on right
yeah, there's chats in the live. If you go to live on the right side.
And our favorite guy, Va Koma.
Yeah, he just I know who he is too.
All I
He's
see
like,
is private chat. Oh, here we go. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, he really. There we go. Yeah, I read your super chat. I'm not reading. No, you got to pay. If you want me, if you're gonna insult me, you have to pay. Anyway, let's see. Hang on, I'll tell you who it is.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's not someone who's like a hater. You know what? No, it's Jim Molasses.
Oh, there's so much. There's so many comments. Wow, I just.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But no, we got 18 minutes.
I don't know what any of these comments are referring to either, because it's like
because it's like the context is past. Yeah.
I'm as you can tell, I'm not super like up to date with like streaming and everything.
Oh, dude, it's a whole thing, man. Like everyone. So I'm honestly surprised Mo Biggs isn't in the chat here somewhere, because like normally if I'm on a stream, he will like appear out of the ether and just start trolling me. I love him to death. He's been a supporter of mine since the beginning. But like,
I don't even know if he follows me. I don't know if he's ever been in my chat.
He shows his support by grilling me. Like,
yeah,
profusely.
a lot of people do. No, Valkoma is a fan. He's a genuine fan.
Okay.
You know? Valkoma is because here's the thing, and this is something that I've been encountering, and I've mentioned it on stream. I don't know what it is, but for some reason, all the time, people will like reply to my email or write my name down as Va, and I don't know why. Like it happens so often. And it's like
I'm not gonna BS you, Vaughn. When I was putting you into my contacts on my phone, I forgot to I missed the N.
Why that letter of all letters? Like I don't get it. Like why not there's like an extra
and I just never fix it because I'm like, oh, I know who it is.
Like what I don't get is like there's if people said VON, like Vaughn. Like that would be more.
I'm fixing this right now.
Specifically, like
I've found it myself.
UGHN, but it's like of all the letters, they forget the last, and it's like I don't know if it's just
that's one that you pronounce too.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
It's like an active part of his name, and I was just like, I don't even know why I missed it, but like I guess I just didn't hit the N. All right, so you've now been updated.
175. Let's go. Did you just say suck it and then donate to the campaign? I don't know how that's owning. That makes me look good. If you did, thank
Woo.
you.
Thanks so much, everybody.
Once all right, there we go. And so that who's that gave you the mini print? Man,
Yeah, so we've got the mini print.
is this an homage to something?
Yes, it is. So
on.
it's more of a style homage. So like,
But
I'm
what
not
is
sure
it?
if you've
Because I
ever
feel
heard
like
of-
I've seen a cover with that, right?
So, I mean, there's definite like this is a fairly common like group cover style like
with the hand.
thing, but like it. So what I wanted to do was Supergiant Games has a game called Hades. A game for
heard of
Dude,
it.
Hades is awesome.
I've heard
Hades
it's a good game.
Yeah.
Yeah, like so Hades 2 had their full platform release days before we launched. So I wanted to have a cover that was kind of done in that style. And I found this guy, Zachary Pimentuan, who did a fan art piece that he had posted up on his art station. And so I hit him up, and he's the guy that did this cover. And turns out he's like a 22-year-old art student. And I was just like, oh, awesome. And this is his first professional, like this is his first professional gig. And so he did the pencils, inks, and colors on this. Absolutely fantastic work. And really, really, really happy with how it turned out. If we are able to cross 6K tonight, that cover actually gets upgraded to a rainbow holofoil I've got right here.
Dude, I gotta talk about holofoils because I haven't even maybe I'll consider like I love working with my printer, but I also love having money. So if I could, if I can figure it out, I'd love to kind of do that. I realized we haven't even watched the video yet. Let's watch because we've been just talking. Let's play this real quick.
Shout out to Good Stuff because this trailer is fantastic.
I need to learn those stuff. Man, so good. I hope I can get Dollhouse new.
Dude, that's a great trailer, dude. Great.
Yeah.
Good stuff. So if there's any creators out there and you guys are looking for getting a really just solid trailer done at a very affordable price, Good Stuff is where it's at. Like he did this. It was like the price point on this would astonish you. Like it was very affordable. And like as an indie guy, like that's like, trailers are an important thing, but also being able to take money and invest it more into like art production or anything like that really helps. So they like Good Stuff does this because he likes doing the video editing, and so his trailer rates are insanely good, and I highly recommend it.
Nice. That looked great. That trailer looked really great. Yeah, we got 175 backers. We got 11 minutes to go.
Yeah, I gotta figure out how to do the graphics things because I can do editing but it's fairly pedestrian. Because I majored in filmmaking, but I was never great at like graphics and stuff.
It's one of those things where like you can learn to do a lot of stuff on your own, especially if you're just like graphic design is one of those things where you can actually teach yourself a lot of things. A lot of it is messing with specific fonts and like learning how to properly adjust your layers and really do stuff like you can become pretty competent at graphic design on your own pretty quickly, I would say. Like especially if you're just looking at like creating logos or developing graphics pages and stuff like that. Like it's not going to take you like a blink of an eye, but it will take you about 6 months to a year. It's pretty easy to really grasp in terms of graphic design. And at least to have like a rudimentary knowledge to do some things on your own. Obviously, to be a professional at it, you need a lot more than that. But like to be competent enough to do some basic things, like 6 months, I'd say.
All right. Sorry, I was just looking at something because I was debating going back and forth. I have my character Estrella, and I'm like figuring out because I'm like I overthink things a lot as a writer. One of the things I was overthinking, I was like, the character can absorb information. So it's like she's Italian. I'm like, should she have an accent? I'm like, well, technically she can absorb a perfect accent and doesn't need. But I'm like, also aesthetically, it's kind of like, you know, what's a weird one. So Ileana from New Mutants Magic.
Yeah.
If we're being technical, she shouldn't have an accent because she was sent to the underworld when she was still a small child.
So, I mean, yes. However, you can I
but
feel
then
like
again, why would they be speaking English in the underworld?
Well, then again, like why would she know English in the first place if she was in Russia?
I'll tell you, you fake fan. It's because in New Mutants, there's a scene where Professor X teaches her English telepathically.
Yes, I understand that, but like either way, the point still stands. Is it's like if she's coming straight from the underworld, she wouldn't know it right away, right?
Dude, her backstory, I wanted to do a video explaining it, is one of the most ridiculously overcomplicated backstories. Like, I'm curious what now, because new fans, like, I just, like, because I remember reading it, like, when you have to explain it to people. Like, do you know Magic?
I know the character. I don't, like, know her in-depth backstory, but, like, don't, like, a lot of the X-Men have super confusing backstories, though?
A lot. It's weird. It's either really simple, like, oh, I'm a mutant, or it's Magic, where Magic and Psylocke are both in the weird camp.
Yeah.
Like, so Magic was Colossus's little sister that was kidnapped into limbo on a mission, and they had to go and rescue her, and then they lose her for like 2 seconds, but time passes differently in limbo. So when they pull her out, it was like 14 years passed in between that time. So she grew up in a limbo in an alternate reality where the X-Men died, and she like basically was being used for blood magic. So she is like 3/5 of her soul were used for. So she's like corrupted. So she's like got demonic tendencies. She's prophesized to be this evil demon with sacrifice, but she escapes, but she like still has. And then also she has a pure soul that she manifests as her soul sword, and she could teleport with discs. She's a very complicated character. But
yes.
So I wonder, because I'm like, I love her every time she shows up, but I wonder, like every time I start explaining it, it makes perfect sense to me when you read it in order.
Mm-hmm.
But when you don't, that's one of the other things too. When people are getting into comments like, "Oh my God, this is so complicated." It's like, well, yeah, because you're condensing like 20 years of history into a 5-minute video. Of course, it's.
I mean, I've always taken the opposite approach to it, where like, because so many characters have very complicated histories, right?
Yeah.
But like, I've always just been like, when I like just like at least when I was a kid. I mean, now I know most of these characters. But like when I was a kid and I discovered a new character, I like was just like, oh, this is just who they are. like the Flash, Wally West. I was like, oh, Wally's the Flash. Like I didn't like. There wasn't like this like I had to know how he got to this point and stuff. You know what I mean? I just kind of like accepted like the issue that I was reading as like, okay, this moving forward is like what I know, you know? And then like if I went back I'd learn more, but like I guess I just never had that like need to know like where they came from, you know?
Yeah, I think that's crazy OCD like me. Like I kind of wish sometimes that I could just but the thing is I did read Magic's origin story, like because I started with Claremont's run. So you do literally see her from a small child through all of that. So you see, oh, she's a little kid here. Oh, she's gets taken in a limbo here. Oh, she uses her sword here. So it's like a gradual process in the comics. But when you have to explain how did magic come to be, it's like, okay, basically she was put into limbo to be a sacrifice. She's like part demonic, but she's also a mutant. Her mutant powers manifested in hell. She can teleport. She now rules limbo. She has a soul sword. It's a whole thing. And it makes her a great character. But yeah, it's like a lot. It's a lot.
Her sword's dope. It's a
Her
very
sword
like,
is awesome.
Anime looking sword, yeah.
In the original comics, I actually would say her design has gotten cooler. I think the character was always cool, but her design, one thing I like about her actually is and I think the New Mutants did it really well, is they had the same costumes. They'd all have very different, like you could look at someone's face and go, that's this character. Like there were two blonde girls in the New Mutants, but you could always tell them apart because Amara had the short curly hair and Magic has a very distinct hair shape, like with the bangs. And I love that.
No, I'm a big fan of like characters having unique like hairstyles or like face features to like so you can separate them visually like apart from each other. You know what I mean? Like that's something I was very conscious in my book, like to make every character look unique unto themselves. Like because like the thing with like Superman and Batman, they kind of like look like the same guy depending on like.
Oh yeah, Jim Lee. Yeah, if you put Bruce Wayne
really
with glasses,
depends on who's drawing them.
Yeah. So like, I like that. And that's like a thing like anime does, I think really well is like giving everyone unique, like face things that like pop them out, you know?
That was a big thing with me when I was picking my artist. A lot of people are confusing my main character on the cover with Galvanite. So I might have to make sure his face is a little rougher with Force for issue 3. But otherwise, I try and make the characters' faces different because that to me that's super important. Like so, Bob McLeod, I think was one of the best artists who did that. Jim, when someone pointed that out, because I had read Jim Lee's stuff for years, like all of his faces kind of look the same. I'm like what? And then I started looking through. I'm like, oh yeah.
I mean, see, like that. It's not. I guess the structure aspect doesn't bother me as much with when artists because every artist has their own like structure and it's almost like intentional, right? It's like this is like my stamp that I'm putting on my style, right? So I'm not so much talking about that. It's more like the details that make the characters pop, I guess is what I'm saying. Like when it comes to like hairstyles or like scars or like necklaces or like just like things that like you can add to the characters like style wise that makes them separate from one another, if that makes sense.
No, 100%.
Yeah, because like when it comes to like the facial structure stuff, I do think it's very intentional that Jim Lee draws that way because that's his stamp of like style,
exactly.
Right? Like I mean, Jim's a fantastic artist. Like he can draw hyper realistic things, like you know what I mean. Like he'll put it on.
Oh, I love Jim Lee.
Yeah.
I think I mean, you have to just that is one of the things too. Like people are just kind of get known for a style and they're forced to draw on that style.
All right, we are in the last 2 minutes.
Oh yeah, George Perez I put up there too. Sorry, there you go.
So just wanted to say thank you to everybody who's hanging out with us here this evening. We're in 2 minutes, 175 backers. Not a bad way to close out on things. We got 120 seconds left. So in that time, I'm going to actually share screen and reveal the cover for issue 2. If that is okay. Let's see.
Go ahead.
There we go. I've got it.
Nice.
Sick.
That's
Sick.
awesome.
Yeah, that's really cool.
So
it's really cool.
But yeah, like it's very exciting. Obviously, by the cover you can tell this is going to be very Gilgamesh versus Achilles is kind of the theme of second issue.
Dude, it's so cool that you're using like Achilles for like a comic book thing because like I just went to when my wife and I just watched Troy recently last year, like the first time in like I haven't seen it since like high school, right? I'm like, man, this movie was rad, dude. This movie was freaking rad.
So I think Troy did a lot of stuff really well. I personally have my issues with it, but like it's one of these things where I'm seeing the set photos from Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey, and I go, it's making me appreciate Troy a lot more because there's way more care put into that.
Well, I can't wait for The Odyssey. I'm stoked about that. Like, but yeah, I mean, I like that. I know some people think Troy's corny and like fair, but like I like that kind of like Hollywood sheen that they give it. Like that's something that I'm like there for. Like I'm there for like the Michael Bay like just bombastic explosion style of movie making.
I have no problems with it. Like I don't think that Troy is overly corny. I think my issue is I'm a huge woo, we funded. Yay, nice. Thanks everybody. But like I think that my issue from Troy stems from the Iliad was my bedtime story as a kid. Achilles is one of my favorite characters in literature, period. And it's one of the cool things to get to play to take him and play with him in this playground has been great. I think my biggest issue with Troy is the issue that I have with most things that Hollywood does in terms of trying to adapt the Trojan War. They bite off more than they can chew. Trojan War is a 10-year conflict. It's a 10-year siege. The Iliad, which is the most well-known story from the Trojan War, happens at the tail end of its 9th year. And that's the whole conflict between Achilles and Agamemnon. And that leads to the death of Patroclus. And everybody wants to make sure that they adapt this portion of the story because it's the most well-known. And so I think my issue with Troy is, you're trying to smash everything into a 2.5 hour, 3 hour movie.
I still need to see it.
It's badass, dude. I
think it's like, let me see
if you're not a history buff, like how because I read the stuff in school, but I don't have much memory of it, and I just saw it for like, oh, there's like a cool like fantasy.
Oh no, the action in it is stellar, and like the beach sequence is probably the best representation of what Achilles is like. In the Iliad that has ever been translated.
What is cool about Troy too is that it does not adapt. It adapts it in the sense of saying like, what if this was real? In the sense of like, there's no gods, there's no. It's a
truth behind the myth thing.
Yeah.
I think that Troy tried to. This is one of my other issues with it. Is it tries to be both mythological and truth behind the myth and try and leave some ambiguity because like there is the scene where Achilles goes and sees his mother and they very much imply that she's a sea nymph.
Not in the movie.
Yes, they do, because then Achilles talks to Briseis and says that he's seen the gods face to face. He has a whole monologue about it.
Is the mom as a nymph? A nymph?
Yes.
That's Michael's interpretation. My interpretation was that it's just straight up playing as if it's real. Because Achilles isn't immortal, he's just like a badass fighter. And
100%. But even in the Iliad, Achilles gets wounded. The notion of Achilles being invulnerable outside of his heel was actually added to his lore in what's called the Post-Homerica. But in the movie, they have Achilles go down and talk to his mother, who gives him the prophecy that if he goes to Troy, he's going to die. And then when he captures Briseis is talking about how the gods will punish him. And he gives her this whole speech about how he's actually met the gods.
I always took that as simply metaphorical in the movie.
the fact of the matter is that you had him meet his mother prior. She gave him the prophecy of him, and so it's very much trying to lean into this is the mythological side of Achilles. But like, and so when you're doing that, you're kind of trying to tread, but you're trying to have eat your cake and have it too. Still have Achilles kind of be this demigod figure while approaching it the truth behind the myth.
So real quick, I wanted to say, so Phenomenova issue 3 is in development. I haven't started interiors yet. My artist is working, but we have 3 different covers being worked on. Then V, obviously, when he's done being a rock star for 5 seconds, in his 5 seconds of free time, I'm going to steal it from him. But that's V is going to be doing a Kickstarter cover. I've reached out to Andrew Dollhouse, so fingers crossed that happens. I'm hoping to launch in either July or August.
Andrew's fantastic, and I'm sure if you don't hear back from Andrew, reach out to Josh.
Oh, I already did both. Because I was like, who should I reach out to? And I was like, both of them. That way,
Josh should have Andrew's availability and would be able to give you a really good idea of what his schedule is like.
All right.
And I'm sure V can back me up on that. Like that's literally what Josh's job is. He is their art rep that he makes sure that if they get someone that wants to get work done, that people have the right time to get it done in a reasonable amount of time. And Josh is very good at it.
So real quick, let me go ahead and pull up. I'll show the full cover art real quick. Phenomenova issue 3. Finally, we see. So at the end of issue 1, spoiler alert, Miles gets his ass kicked, and he wakes up, and we're told you have to train with a team of heroes. We're not told how he got from the reactor to that hospital bed or who this team is. Well, we get answers to both those questions and more in issue 3. Finally, we kind of flash back. It's kind of a flashback, but also set in the present because Estrella is reinvestigating the crime scene as a detective, reliving the memories that played out here to solve the case. So we have Force, who is our leader character. He's got force fields that he uses, both offensively and defensively. We've got Vivacity. We've got Thermo. And then these guys are Army. It's a guy who can clone himself. Those are just on the cover. We've got more. You're going to see more of Dark Cloud and more of Dark Cloud's team. There's going to be a cover with them, so keep an eye out for that.
Nice.
Yeah. This is, I think, well, I was actually like, this is my best, and then I'm revising 5, and I'm like, this is my best. But, and then we got, you've spent all this time with us. Let's promote your book, because it looks great.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes. Soul Striker looks fantastic, man. I am so freaking pumped for it.
Oh, thank you so much.
Such a good trailer.
I love the.
Dude.
It's so bad.
Who did that at the end, too? Like, holy shit.
The lightning.
Yeah.
So we one of my
there we go. Oh my god.
So one of my friends, his name is Mark Roslin. He's like an industry legend. He's graphic designer for Aspen Comics, and he does all the work for all the logos, every like the layouts on the books, does all the pre-press, all the design work for Aspen Comics. And I was lucky enough to get him to do our logo for us, and he executed our logos, both the Neon Frontier logo and the Soul Striker logo, and both little animations that like ding at the beginning with like the heart logo and then the lightning logo. Like he just did that for us. Like he surprised us with it.
Are you kidding?
That's
So
so
the animation with the lightning, yeah. And then when he sent that to me, I was like, "Oh my god, dude, this looks so amazing!" Like because I didn't even ask for like an anime. I just like I hired him to do the logo, and I was shocked that he had the time to do it, But and then when he sent that little animation, we're like, "Oh my god, like we have to use this in the trailer. This is so cool!" Like so. Yeah, and then my co-writer Jason actually edited most of the trailer, or actually he edited like all the trailer. Yeah, so he did a great job, like pulling it together.
Dude, I'm so excited for this one. This one is, I mean, just the premise. Is this an homage?
That's Joe Benitez. He did that cover. Top Cow industry legend Joe Benitez. Yeah.
Cloud Strife with the sword. Or maybe it's just I think everyone with the big sword. Maybe it could be confirmation bias.
Well, I mean, I do love Final Fantasy and like swords and stuff. So like Cloud was definitely part of the inspiration for this character. I mean, it was like I basically wanted to draw like what would be like the character that I would want to draw for like the rest of my life, and it was like a mishmash of like I want to have like a knight-esque character mixed with like a samurai, and then like Cloud's big sword and like big like Dragon Ball spiky hair and like just all this stuff that I liked growing up as a kid. And like if you in the trailer you saw like mechs as well as like Gundam was a huge thing for me when I was a kid. It still is. And
Gundam's the shit.
Yeah, so that was another big inspiration for it. So I wanted him to also have like a kind of pilot look. That's why he's got like the jacket too. So yeah, that's where that main character Varric, where a lot of his look came from. And then like the rest of them, Axel, the character that has like the cape, that was actually the original, or his look is very close to the original design I had for this character that like was just going to be like a superhero that I kind of changed the idea over time to be this like kind of like ensemble cast thing. And his look, that's why he looks very superhero-esque. He's got a cape, he's got like mostly tights and stuff. Like he's got like a very like classic superhero look. And his look is very much the original design that I came up with like years ago, like back in 2010. Yeah.
That looks great, dude. Yeah, I'm excited for this one. All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. V, thank you for sticking around as long as you did. Also, with all your DC work, if you need a little like buffer with the cover, let me know.
Okay, we'll do. Actually, send me, if you can email me everything like tomorrow.
I'll email it to you tonight. Yeah. What do you want? Cool. You want character designs and everything?
Yeah.
I'll send you the script, character designs. If you even are like this, I don't have time to read the script. I could even just like break it down to like whatever you need. Yeah, I'll send you like right after this is done. I'll send it.
Cool. Sounds good.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good. First of all, it had nothing to do with you. You're still here. So clearly, also, we're all at our houses. So sick of this guy. Yeah. I don't have an outro. So I'm just going to play this. Sephiroth!
I must admit,